Guys, welcome to Saturday morning, March the 7th, and we're excited to have you. We have Niamh from the corporate office, ARIIX. She's really, I guess the way to describe this is you're over our rewards. Is that kind of the way you describe this? I called it over travel, but you're actually over the diamonds, the rewards. You're over any kind of reward programs at the company. Would that be accurate?
Yeah, that's it.
And so we're going to talk a little bit. I've got it set up where she can share her screen. She's going to show some things, and we're going to talk about the travel. Guys, some of the most important things, the most exciting things about this company for me, I've been here, it's hard to believe I've been with the company 7 years. I've seen so many changes and all for the good. So, they don't change the compensation plans that make it better, but they add things to help us build our business. But more importantly, they give us things that will help us retain retention. And retention here is probably the more critical things and keeping people engaged and excited. But my favorite, and I'll be the first to admit, when this was announced, I believe we've had the travel program now for 2 years. This March was 2 years we've had travel. I wasn't excited about it. I've seen travel network marketing companies. I just thought no big deal. And then after getting travel and seeing all the perks, and I now use it every day. I booked myself into Monroe, Louisiana in rooms. I booked airline tickets to the Okies. I mean, I just cannot get over all the perks that come from our travel rewards as well as our diamonds program. Now, my wife's more excited about the diamonds. I don't pay much attention to that, but she loves the jewelry section. But maybe why don't you kind of just take us through a little bit about the travel? And I mean, I'm going to, you're welcome to say talk about what you want. We'll watch for questions on the chat room if people have questions. But obviously, we all know how the rewards part works to some degree, but you might go back over that as well as Matt mentioned how the e-wallet works and how that pays as well. So maybe I'll let you take it from here.
Hi everybody. So I joined ARIIX back in November, so I'm very new to the company, but I've really been enjoying my time here. So I was brought on to manage the lifestyle perks program. So I look after travel, diamonds, and loyalty. With each one, you earn rewards dollars, as you know, for every dollar that you spend with ARIIX, and then you can use that towards travel and diamonds. So with travel, you pay a fee of $128.88, I believe it is, to join the travel program. And there you'll have access to hotels, flights, experiences, all at wholesale prices. So we would actually be cheaper than Booking.com or Priceline or Expedia or any of the big competitors. And if you found us not cheaper, you are free to send it in to our provider and they'll price match for you. Yes, did you see a question there from Scott? All dollars spent to rewards are return of rewards dollars. No, what you earn your reward dollars based off of buying ARIIX products, so like your Vinali and your MOA and things like that. And then you can use them towards getting discounted hotels, flights, and diamonds. So with travel, you can get all these different things, but the biggest thing with travel to reap the biggest reward from it is to be flexible. If you're flexible on your dates, you can save 70–80% on different vacations, different holidays. It's really, really good. It's really beneficial. I myself was in Amsterdam last week and I got my hotel about €180 cheaper than anywhere else. And it was brilliant. It was my first time using ARIIX Travel and I really, really enjoyed it. Then with diamonds, you obviously get your jewelry cheaper as well. So you can have custom pieces made. You can contact the guys and tell them, I want to have an engagement ring made and I want to spend $5,000 and this is the kind of ring I want. Or you can send them in a piece from Cartier or from Tiffany's and tell them, I only have $1,000. Can you make this for me? And they will be able to make it based on your budget. So they'll be able to give you the diamond that would suit your budget, or even if you don't want to go with an actual diamond, they have other gems that they can use. So it really is beneficial and it's really disruptive because there's no other MLMs really with what we have.
So on the jewelry department, it's more than just diamonds. You can get other stones as well.
You can get other stones. They are really, really good guys and their quality of work is amazing. I've actually taken 3 pieces from Cartier that I've sent them and asked them to make for me because I don't want to pay $10,000 for a bracelet.
So they've got some different things. Why don't you talk to us a little bit about the weeks and the best way to get the best deals, and is there anything coming new to the ARIIX Travel?
So ARIIX Travel at the minute, there is obviously a few kind of teething issues for the last little while. So my main goal at the minute is to make sure the platform is running as smoothly as possible. So that's currently what we're doing. We've gone with SOR, we've gone back and forth on our inventory, on our languages, and making sure that everything is translated correctly. So at the minute, it is great. I will share my screen now and I will show you what it looks like. And share. Can you guys see my screen?
Okay.
Perfect. So up the top, you'll have your rewards dollars, how many you have in your bank account to use. So on here, on the tiles, you'll see the biggest savings that we currently have for different places. So you can click on them. Like if you want to go to Phuket, you can click on here. And now ignore my Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi in Dublin isn't exactly the fastest, so it might be a little bit slow. But it will come up with different suggestions and it'll show you the hotels that you'll get the biggest savings from. Once again, apologies for my slow internet.
That's okay. So I think one of the question that someone had, or the comment they made, was that anything you spend, this is what Scott mentioned, was whatever dollars you spend goes back into the rewards credit. So if you get 40% off and you get $60 off and you spend $40, you get $40 goes back in. Correct?
Yes, I believe so. I may be wrong on that.
It's up. We're seeing it.
Perfect. So you see here, so see on this one, it's save 61%, it's $29 a night. So the public price is $611. You would spend 373 of your reward dollars and then you would get it for 238. So if you click here and see compare public prices, this is what it's currently showing for the general public. They don't have access to these prices that we have. That's on those, and see that automatically gave me a date suggestion for those discounts. It's just why you need to be kind of flexible. But if you go up to the top to weeks, the weeks are pretty amazing. Like you can click anywhere in the world. You can click from these tiles, or you can click up here and pick where you want to go, like either in the US or around the world, and you just pick the kind of week, whatever you want, and within 7 days. So if I just show you, say, where do you guys want to go? Cambodia. So if we look at Cambodia, it will give, well, we've only got one at the minute in Cambodia, but this 5-star resort, you can get it for €79 or whatever equivalent in dollars. So it'll be 238 euro for the week. So
that's a 5-star resort, correct?
Sorry, that's a 4-star resort.
4-star, okay.
But it's 9 out of 10. So for your week, 238, $79. Your ARIIX contribution is 417. So like the discounts can be absolutely amazing for this. Like I know myself, I eventually want to go to Thailand, and when I go, I'm going to book through ARIIX Travel because you find the best resorts, and these are the highest rated resorts as well. So they're ones that people have tried and tested and really have enjoyed where they want, like where they have gone. So say this one here is 3-star, because they range from obviously from 3 to 5 stars. So you can go by your budget and what you're willing to spend. The only thing is you do need to be mindful of when it tells you. So you have to be flexible. So like this is obviously giving us days from March 14th to March 21st. If you change your date, it's not going to be as valid for the week, say. So if we go the 27th, the price might change. See, the 27th of June, the 20th to the 27th, you're looking at 199 for a week in a 3-star resort in Thailand. Like there are some really, really good deals on here. Also, we have the cruises. So the cruise packages at the minute, we're currently going through a little bit of a change with our cruise packages because we weren't happy with the pricing that we were being given for the cruises. So I have gone back and I have worked with SOR on these cruises, and what you'll see shortly is we're changing the layout of the site here, because to get the best deal, if you click on these deals, they're not as good as if you call. So if you call this number, the team will be able to get you a better deal than what's here, because they can only pull a certain amount of inventory. So for you, if you want to go on a cruise, this, like you need to call them, because they will be able to get you little perks along with your trip. But there's so much.
This number can, so when we tell them we're with ARIIX, if we call this number, they're
This
going
is,
to be able to, is that the way it would work?
oh yeah. This is a dedicated ARIIX number.
Oh, it's a dedicated RX number. So,
Yep.
so let me ask the question. Let's say that I'm trying to find the best deal and I'm not really good at navigating travel. I don't know much about other areas. Will they help me if I'm like, I want to go in these areas? What's the best way to find, as an RX rep, I'm very flexible when I go places. You think that they would help me find that they have a better search engine than we do to find better deals?
Absolutely. The thing about when you call them is they can sometimes call vendors and, kind of sweet talk them, and they might be able to throw in like a free breakfast here or a free parking, things like that. Like, even if you had reps that weren't, like, you're not as technologically savvy, there's a live chat at the side bar of the, just here, and you can click that and you'll have a live representative there, and then you can actually ask them then to call you, and they'll call you even just to book a normal holiday.
Awesome.
They're a dedicated team that we have. And then we also have a dedicated team for our group travel. So if you had, say, you and your wife and your kids, and you want to take your in-laws, and there's a big group of you going away for an anniversary or something, you can call up our team and they will book everything for you. They'll handle it all and just send you the inventory or the itinerary.
I've got someone that asked, when will we have the all-inclusive holiday packs that include flights? I know they've got an all-inclusive already for the resorts, but I guess the flights have always been separated.
That's something we're trying to work on. That's something I want to see happen. So I am working on it, but I can't guarantee it, unfortunately.
Okay. So but we do have all-inclusive resorts right now. We just have to separate the flights, correct?
Yes. Yep.
And then someone else has asked, what is the best way to find the least expensive times to book hotels? Is there a way to look for the best options?
I don't really think so, because it all depends as well on seasonality. So, like, especially if you're looking in the southern hemisphere, their winter and their summer is different to ours here. So it just really just depends. But obviously booking as far out in advance would get you the best deal generally.
Would it be fair to say that obviously the way this works is that when the supply is heavy, we get better deals, and as it books up, they change their pricing? Would that be accurate?
Yeah. Yeah.
So obviously the earlier you do this, the better off you are.
Yes.
That's what you're saying.
Yes. Okay. And be flexible as well. Like, so if you stick to certain dates, you might be in the middle of a peak time and you don't realize. So if you're flexible enough with when you want to go, like if you haven't booked your flights yet and you just know, okay, sometime around September, I'd like to go to Thailand, you could find some amazing deals.
Okay, now someone's asking a question. That's a pretty good one. I don't know if it's going to show up that number. It says, if I send my travel link to a friend whom they're using the share program and they're not RX reps, can they still call that number, or is that number going to show up for them? So but they will know how to discount it correctly when they call that they're not an RX rep?
Mm-hmm. They will. And then you'll have your commission then from the reward dollars that they spend.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep. So the thing about the referral program is, if you send your sister 400 referral or reward dollars and then she uses them, once her trip is completed, so even if she's booked her trip for a year's time, you won't get the commission until after she has completed her trip. But you will get back, if you've sent her 400 and she only used 350, you'll get your 50 reward dollars back, but you'll also get 350 in cash on your next commission check.
Gotcha. Well, someone just asked another question. Said that if we send someone our travel dollars and they never book, then in 30 days it's supposed to be returned. All right. Well, they said, so it says, I know that that's supposed to be, I know that's the case because I've had it returned to me. Rep support has told us no. The travel support told us no. If you're calling the travel support number, they probably would not know that the rep supported RX, but I've had mine returned. So
yeah, and if they haven't been returned, you just need to contact customer service and they'll be able to reconcile them for you.
Okay. Yeah, I know that we can get that accomplished. So there's all kind of things on here that people are commenting. Is there ways to budget? Someone's asking by putting in some out 6 months out and just say, hey, this is what I want to spend. I bet you could do that by calling the number, right?
Yep, definitely. Yep.
And the number I've used before, guys, I didn't know that it was something that made it. I just thought I was getting special perks here because somebody gave me this number some time ago. I've used it before. It works really well. They really help you a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Chris, on that last question about the budget, over on the left-hand side of the travel website, there's all kinds of settings that you can look from 5-star first or 1-star first. You can actually put in you can kind of set your your agenda over there on the left side of how you want it to show you the hotels first, and it'll run that for you. You don't have to call. And I'll just, for everybody out there that hasn't used this travel website, we've been using it at least 3 to 5 times a week for 2 years. And it is the most incredible rates I've ever seen before in my life. Talking to somebody that travels extensively, nonstop, it always wins. And I'm the Diamond member with Hilton and with Marriott, with all of them. And this always beats that whatever's on their apps by $20, $30 on a normal hotel. And then it gets just ridiculous savings on these vacations or holidays.
I will give you an example of someone that gave us one last weekend. I guess it was last weekend in Michigan. Mark Thomas, a new rep out of Arkansas, drove to come to the training in Michigan, Todd, went in the lobby of the hotel he wanted to go to and asked for their best rate. They gave it to him. He went and sat down in the lobby and booked it for, I believe he said $20 less, and walked back up and checked in. The guy was absolutely amazed. Now, Mark was looking for a way to recruit, so he got the guy's name. That gave him an excuse to talk to the guy. I thought that was interesting. That was his way of getting a little, I've got a way to get that done. So he used it as a recruiting tool. But still, right there in the lobby, he books his hotel and then walks up and rechecks in. Isn't that cool? And for less
Done
money.
it a number of times.
Yep. I've done it in the parking lot over and over. I never walked in and did it while I'm watching me do it. That was a great little recruiting tool. I never thought about that one. So someone's asked another question here about the referrals. So if you don't give them enough money from ARIIX dollars, can I add to what I've already given them?
Yep, you can resend.
Just resend for more, or resend, you need to do all of it again, more, or just send a partial?
I believe you can resend just a partial amount because they will get their own account set up. So they should just add automatically to it.
Okay, now here's the question. Here's the thing that I do know we've had some problems with. When you send a referral to one person, they may have gotten this corrected now, but if you can't send another one to the same address. Have they got that set up where that's not a problem anymore?
I'm not sure, because I think that was a problem before my time, but I will make a note, Chris, and I'll come back to you on that.
Yeah, double check on that for us, because that's something we really want to know.
Yeah, just to clarify that question, the way it was working is, and the travel company itself would receive an email, and that email would stay valid for 30 days, and they would return the dollars. And on the travel company's side, because they were given that discount, that email you could not resend to the same email. So to my knowledge, that has not been corrected. So if that could be corrected, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, that's very important.
Yep, I will find that out for you.
Someone's asking, can we get the points back immediately if we double send it? So they may not have an abundance of points to send. So if they've sent somebody back points and they're not using them, can they get them back quicker if they request them?
Yes, if you contact ARIIX customer care, yeah, they should be able to give them back to you straight away.
Okay. Oh, that's an interesting question. When we send out travel rewards to someone and get paid our commissions, could we get that put in our e-wallet instead of our direct deposit?
You can do that on your.
You can do that.
You can set your commissions yourself. I mean, that's just going to show up on your paycheck. In a normal pay, it's going to be just itemized on a paycheck on a Friday. So you just set that up yourself, Chris.
Yeah, you can do that. That's Richard Hawkins. Absolutely. I guess you can do that. I think let's talk. Why don't you talk a little bit about the e-wallet? I'm not sure that Niamh is the right person to talk about the e-wallet and how that not only do you get these discounted travels, but if you're building a business, guys, I don't even know how to put this into words. Todd and I have been traveling with this industry now, what, 18 years, Todd, right? And
nonstop, Chris.
We've been out here 18 years building and working on the road and traveling. Like you said, we're both Diamond members with Hilton, Diamond with, I laughed once. I said, I'm a Diamond with everybody. I've traveled in so many hotels. I've never had an opportunity to get such great discounts. But now with our e-wallet, as we grow our business, they dump this money into this e-wallet. I don't know what else to call it besides bonus money. That's what it needs to be called. So why don't you explain that, Todd? Because I think people really need to know. That's, to me, has been amazing. I got $4,000 dropped in mine the other day. It's like,
yes, I'm sure there's a lot of, there's on all of these Saturday broadcasts, we have both new and old reps. So I'm going to speak as if nobody knows anything just for a minute to kind of make sure everybody really understands how to use the travel website. Just as a footnote, because we haven't mentioned it, the lifestyle perks are free except for travel. We do have to pay $128 annually to have access to this site, but you'll make it up in 2 days, maybe even 1 day, depending on where you want to stay at. I actually just renewed this week for the third time. since it launched, and it pays. I mean, I literally say I think I had my money back that night. I'm booking a couple hotel rooms, but you know, the reward dollars go in based off our spending, Chris. So if we join the company and we have a active auto ship for the first 28 days, every dollar we spend to include our sign up pack, purchases, anything is going in there 2 to 1. So you were to buy a $430 with shipping and tax transformation pack, you would have almost $900 in your account on day one if you turned your auto ship on. If you bought an ultimate pack for $2,300, you would have almost $5,000 in there, 2 to 1. And then your auto ships, your random purchases just keep filling the bank. Then secondarily, this is completely separate, Chris, as you and I and Richard and lots of people that have gotten this know, we're able to, those are our discount dollars that buy those discounts that are just, I'm telling you, they're ridiculous. If you haven't got in there and played around, when you turn your travel website on, if you like to travel, just get in there on your phone or your iPad or your computer one night when you got a little time. And man, once you get going, you may spend 3 hours and go places in the world you've never been, because if you play around, especially on weeks, you can go anywhere from Los Cabos to Cancun to Europe to Australia for literally 20% of the cost. If you're a little bit flexible on dates, if you're not flexible on dates, you'll go for 80% of normal cost, maybe even less than that. But what we're able to do if we build a business is earn real dollars that takes our airline fares, our hotel stays, our vacations completely to free. I'm talking about zero cost. And those go into what's called the e-wallet, and there's 10 different ways. If you've not downloaded onto your phone yet, the ARIIX Opportunity Reward app, ARIIX Opportunity Reward, it's in your Apple or your Android, right where all your other apps are, but it's called ARIIX Opportunity Rewards. It will track it for you. There's 10 different ways we earn real dollars. The simplest way is when you join the company, you just go right into your X office and you watch the BOS, Business Orientation System videos that train you on your business. And when you do that, you're going to see $20 land in your e-wallet that you can now use, $20 real dollars, to apply toward a hotel room or apply toward buying product down or toward your diamond ring, whatever it is that you want to use them for. But the biggest, and there's 9 other ways, from personal sponsoring to growing your business. There's a number of ways. I'm not going to go into that today because that's an hour training within itself. But the biggest way, Chris, as we all know, is increasing your base pay in a 26-week period compared to the previous 26 weeks. Our company runs 2 26-week periods, January to the end of June, July 1st to the end of December. And it basically works this way. For every $750 that you make, more than you did the previous 26 weeks in base pay, you get 250 real dollars put into your e-wallet, free travel, whatever you want to call it. It's all intertwined once you learn how to work it in there. So literally, Chris, I know that you, Richard Hawkins, Richard Tuggle, Kim, I could go through a whole list of people that have been in our company a year or a little bit over, or some of them a little bit less, but they've had a 26-week period occur. Some people, I think Richard Tuggle maybe got a $5,000 dump into his e-wallet. That's $5,000 worth of free travel. But it's bigger than that, Chris, because generally speaking, you're going to get, depending on where you're staying, anywhere from a 50 to, let's say a 20 to an 80% discount, depending on if you're staying a one-night hotel or you're traveling on an all-inclusive trip. So, on a $10,000 vacation for a family for 2 weeks in your dream spot, you're going to find that $10,000 vacation for maybe 4 to 6 with a discount. And then somebody like Richard, he's got 5,000 real dollars. He applies that. So now then he takes his family on a 2-week, $10,000 dream vacation, and he doesn't spend a dime to include his airline tickets. He can use those real dollars to buy his airline ticket. So it's quite amazing, Chris. It's a lot of info. It can be a bit overwhelming when you first get it, but just download that ARIIX Opportunity Reward app. You do have to, and this we'll have to teach this on an individual basis, but when you do get a dump, the big dump, if you watch your BOS videos, you'll see that $20 show up the next day. But if you, those 26-week periods over 26-week periods, they usually show up about a week or two after a 26-week period ends. So this next period will end on June 30th. So about July 4th or 5th, you're going to see a dump if you've grown your business. And when you see that, it'll show up in your e-wallet. And there is a little bit of a process. You got to go in and move it from your e-wallet into the travel. But I do this all the time, Chris. I just had a dump. It wasn't a huge dump, but I get a little bit every 26 weeks, a couple $1,000s in there. And Chris, when I go book my nightly Hilton Garden Inn stay in Nashville, I'll go through this checkout and it will ask me, do I want to use my credit card or the e-wallet? And to me, it's a no-brainer. I don't want my credit card to be charged. I'd rather the e-wallet pay for it. So I just click on my e-wallet, and after I get, the Hilton Garden Inn that would normally be $140 on my Diamond app, I'm now getting it for $110, and then I put $110 of my e-wallet money in there, and I stay completely for free. I mean, anybody that travels, if that ever sinks in, it's the best thing since sliced bread.
Guys, I'm getting questions so fast I can't even keep up with them. I'm not even sure we're going to be able to do all these. But the ARIIX rep, I mean, if someone asked you, they have to pay. If you're referring points to somebody, they do not have to pay $128. I mean, that's just you're getting your commission back and they're using your site. One question that I don't have the answer to was if we refer it to somebody and they go to book, but it's more, that's common. It's going to be more because that's how you're getting your commission. I don't think you're going to, I mean, I know the answer, pretty much know the answer. They're not going to necessarily say the price will be better. That's just for the ARIIX rep itself that you're going to find the best.
No, Chris, that's not true. Chris, that's not true. We are always.
They'll price match for refer a friend?
No. What I'm saying is, our referrals are not, we're not going to refer somebody to an airline ticket and generally save them money, but on a hotel or a travel, Chris, we're going to save our referrals. The way that referral system works, we're going to save them generally. We would if it's a 30% discount, we would get all 30, but if we refer, we're giving away basically 15% and getting the other 15% as profit, but it's still 15% cheaper than they would have found anywhere else in the world. So they're not going to have to call and get a price match. I go in there all the time. I'm not teaching this. I use it daily.
Yeah,
if you refer a friend to a hotel or a vacation, they're going to save money.
Well, I don't think you understood the lady's question. So I mean the question was it more with ARIIX price match? So I don't think it's going to be more, but she said some of that happened to her on something. So I don't know. That's on a referral situation.
If it happens, it's going to be like a extremely rare case. I mean, we save people money just constantly. That's just, I mean, you don't win every battle, but 99 out of 100 times we're going to save them money across the board, except for airlines. We're not, airlines are just not that good with us.
That's correct. There's always going to be an exception to the rule. Someone asked about, said they tried to refer somebody that could get a rental car cheaper. I mean, you're never going to beat it if it's through yourself. But a referral situation might not always, 99% of the time it's still cheaper, but it's not always. I mean, there's a possibility it could be higher. She said
the way the referral program works is your referee will only see 50% of the discounts that what you would get as an ARIIX member would be, because it's basically a recruitment tool as well. It's like if you see it and you're getting 50%, like we're getting better discounts, like you need to join ARIIX to be part of this community. So it's like they can see that, oh, this company, like they offer this travel program and they're cheaper than what I'm seeing elsewhere, but it's cheaper again if I'm part of the company. So I need to join and pay my membership fee.
Yeah. And Debbie asked, are we cheaper than AAA and ARRP rates? Again, I'm answering this not from a teaching standpoint. I'm answering it from a real life standpoint. I have been traveling for 20 years. I stay in a hotel room 3 to 4 nights every week. And these rates on our travel website win 99 out of every 100 times. Because I always still check every way, because I always want to spend the least amount of money daily that I have to spend, because that's our expense building a network marketing business. It's really our only expense. And but it can become quite heavy when you travel a lot. So we're going to be better 99 out of every 100 times. Is there an exception? Yes, but it's very rare.
Someone asked the question about the reward dollars for airline discounts. The airline discounts are very minimal, but you can use your e-wallet dollars that Todd was referring to and absolutely pay for your airline ticket. I did it yesterday.
Yeah, so yep. We don't have a vendor really for airline tickets, but that's the same kind of across the globe. Airline tickets aren't discounted as heavily as what hotels are.
Yeah, and I see somebody just posted that they saved $1,000 on an airline ticket from South Carolina to California. And I agree. There are times I go in there. Matter of fact, I just booked my wife an airline ticket to Virginia to go see her son, our son, play spring practice up there. And I saved about $200 compared over what I saw the same thing on Expedia. But the reason I say it this way is that airlines aren't 100%. Hotels are 100%, 99.9. You can find a great deal on airlines. It's not as frequent.
Yeah.
Andrew, to answer your question about the reservation cancellation, those policies are based on every hotel. The cancellation policy will be there, show you the cancellation policy when you book it. Obviously, some of them are not discounted as much as if you want a cancellation possibility. But
yeah, and there's insurance you can buy too. But that is a downside of what we do, Chris. If especially with hotels, if you book on our travel website and you don't buy the insurance, you could be out of your money if you don't stay there. That's a real deal.
Yeah, there is some cancellation policies that are referred to on each one of them. Like it needs to be a little bit further in advance in a normal situation, but they will let you cancel. You just have to look at that before you pick each one.
Yeah.
Niamh, you want to mention something? Niamh, you want to mention anything else or add to that, or?
Always read the terms and conditions, because as you said, every hotel is different. So every hotel has different policies. So make sure you always read your terms and conditions. But on flights, so our vendor has told us, because I've questioned why the flight deals aren't as good as some other places or why the discounts aren't as heavy. Basically, to get the biggest discounts on flights, you will see them on first class tickets and premium economy tickets. On general economy, that's where you won't see as big a discount. But if you want to treat yourself and fly first class, you might get a very good deal on ARIIX Travel on your flight.
Really?
Can you explain why that is? Can you give us more information on that? Because I've had a couple people tell me they've got really good deals on first class.
So if you have a plane and say there's 300 economy seats, 200 premium economy, and there's 50 first class, you might fill the entire plane except for first class. So coming up to the time, they could discount those seats by $1,000 just to fill them. But at the same time, they're not going to discount them down too low that just anyone can have them. So it's still a little bit of a treat, but you will get a bigger discount on it.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's something we got to start looking at. I mean, that's
a new one on me. I didn't know that.
I know Richard Hawkins did it from Arkansas. I've had 4 or 5 different people tell me that lately. They found some crazy deals on first. I think Richard Hawkins said he booked a first class seat from Little Rock to Salt Lake cheaper than he could book economy regularly. And I was wondering why that was happening.
Yep, that wouldn't surprise me at all. I've seen some first class tickets that have gone at a very, very good rate.
I've just had several people mention the cancellation policy. Obviously, that's the negative side of this. But you can still purchase the insurance if you're not confident you're going somewhere. I mean, the cancellation, you can purchase the insurance so that you can cancel. So that's an option.
So you should be able to see your cancellation policy
when you select rooms.
Select a room. Yeah, so it'll depend on the room you want to pick. So you can pick a room the same with booking.com and hotels.com. You can pick a room that's free cancellation up to a certain point, but you are going to pay more for it. So there, when you click on a room, it has the cancellation policy on each one, and it will depend on the rate that you're paying for.
Yeah, just so you know, the cancellation policy is there when you're selecting. Someone said it was only at checkout. It's actually before you check out. It's at before you select room.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, from somebody that uses it every day, a bunch, I'm going to tell you, if you're thinking about canceling, buy the insurance. That hotels are not easy to cancel. Let's just be straight up about that. That's not. It's built for a huge discount. There's reasons for it. So if you have an idea that it may not work, just the insurance is anywhere from $5 to $10 a night to buy it. So it's worth to buy if it's going to be a possibility, or you got a lot of money on the line. But don't expect a refund if you book on this website. I always like tell worst case scenario, because that's the one thing that would upset somebody if they don't understand that going in.
Mm-hmm. And guys, I can see some people saying that some of their tickets, they've had issues with tickets and it's cost more, and that always pick up the phone and contact ARIIX customer care and talk to them, because sometimes it can just simply be a mapping error on the site or anything else. So I would always encourage people to pick up the phone and contact customer care, or even contact the live chat if you're questioned or something doesn't seem right. Just feel free, because we have a dedicated team within the travel section to help you guys with these issues.
Question that I can't answer. It says, so if you buy the insurance, is that cancel for any reason? Do you know the answer to that?
That I don't know. I think it depends on the vendor. So it depends on each hotel. They all have their own kind of individual cancellation policies. But if you book a room that is free cancellation up to a certain point, yes, you can go in and just cancel that room up until the date that it gives you.
Someone's asking, if you book a cruise, obviously you'll be spending more than your reward discount. Do you get that credited back to your rewards dollars, the difference, if you book through our site? I think
that answer is yes, Chris. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, every time.
Yep. And the way our cruise works, because I know someone questioned who we get our cruise vendors from, we're actually, our vendor is partnered with ARIIX, who are International Cruise and Excursions, I think is their name, but they are the biggest cruise provider in the whole of the US. So we are definitely getting the best rates on our cruises, but you need to call that number to talk to the guys on the other end of the phone, and they will look after you.
Yeah, and it says, what about changing dates? How does that work instead of canceling out? Again, I'm just going to, because somebody that uses it, the negative, the only negative of this website is it's kind of like booking an airline ticket with Southwest. You can change anytime you want to. If you book with Delta, you can forget it. Same with this website. It's not easy changing things. This is why we get such a huge discount. These guys are trying to get rid of rooms that aren't going to book otherwise. So if you've got things that are possibly going to be cloudy, you might call that number that she keeps referring to before you book, read things thoroughly. But I'm just assuming in my mind every time, if I'm using the travel website, that it's got to be in stone. And if it's a possibility it's not, I do buy that insurance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Because if you need to change a date or you need to cancel or whatever, you can call customer care and they will treat it completely on a case-by-case basis. So it will be just completely dependent on the circumstances, what they can do for you. Some hotels might be flexible and might allow you to change your dates. You might not be allowed, like, for the same time zone because it could be peak time or off peak time. But generally, if they can help you, they will. But you just need to call in and double check.
I think cancellation policy, you got to understand, are not going to be an ironclad thing here because you're dealing with a lot of different vendors. And so you're going to have to read the policies. And, you know, obviously if you buy the insurance, there's going to be some options there, but you know, just know that that's the downside of this.
Yeah. And I would just always look at it as cancellation is not on our side in this system, but saving a ton of money is on our side. And that kind of goes hand in hand, I guess.
Well, you save so much money that, I mean, obviously I've never had to cancel on anything, but I mean, if I've never tried, I just know that but I'm not booking places out in advance so far that I'm not planning to go. If I did, I would probably buy the insurance to be on the safe side.
Yep, definitely. Insurance is always your friend.
All right. Well, thank you. Anybody we've got, listen, what I've learned about the travel now is that I can 100% guarantee that this is one of the most exciting things we got, because our chat room has never had this much, we've never had this many questions and answers about it. So they're asking, is there a special customer care part at rep support? I don't think there is. It's just a regular customer care that helps you, but they may have to refer you to somebody. Would that be right?
Yes, so every market has their own customer care team, and within that there are dedicated ARIIX travel customer care representatives that know this website inside out and upside down.
Okay.
So how do they for North America, do they call, if they have travel questions, should they call ARIIX rep services, or should they call that 800 number on the travel website?
I think, to be honest, the quickest way is to get in touch with the live chat and give them your number and let them call you.
On the travel website?
On the travel website, yeah, just on the side, there's a little live chat button. You can click that and let those guys call you if you want to talk on the phone, if you don't want to talk through live chat.
You can ask through the live chat, probably the fastest.
Leave your phone bill, let them call you.
Well, thank you so much for being with us this morning. I told you I would only keep you half an hour, and I kept you 45 minutes. So
it's fine. It's absolutely no problem at all. And
are you coming to us live from England about 3 or 4 o'clock your time?
I'm